Hey friends, welcome to the video. I'm Olivia, and if you haven't met me before, hi, welcome. I review perfumes. So if you're into that sort of thing, make sure you subscribe. And for those of you who already know me, today we're going to be talking about Julianna'S Perfume. So if you guys haven't heard of Julianna'S Perfume, they are a dupe house or inspired by house or based on house, however you want to call it. So basically, they make inspired by versions of super expensive niche fragrances that are like over $300, and they make their own version, and most of theirs retail for $70, which I know that for a dupe, that might be a bit more expensive than other houses, but these are extrait de parfums. So I know that I've made videos in the past of some other niche houses, rather some dupe houses, and people have told me, yeah, but they don't last. Well, that is one thing. With this being $70, yeah, you're paying more, but these like last like crazy. And especially if you're looking for a niche fragrance, do you want to shell out $350 or $70? So that's just my feeling on the situation. So they were nice enough to send me some fragrances to try, but I'm not affiliated with them, so whatever I say is just of my own thought. So first off, I'd like to show the packaging, which I thought was really luxurious. It's like this beautiful, you can kind of see the shine. It says Julianna'S Perfumes, extrait de parfum, with like the kind of golden siding. And really snugly inside is the bottle, which is very heavy. It is glass, and it's got the name underneath here. And it came with a full size and then 2 samples of my choosing. So they asked me to pick out some from the website. So I have 4 different fragrances here with me today, and so let's just get into it. We'll just talk about the ones I have. So first is one of these little samples, and this is their version of Oud Satin Mood by Maison Francis Kurkdjian. The notes in it are on the thing here. We've got Turkish rose, Bulgarian rose, violet, cedar, cypress, musk, patchouli, vanilla, amber, and oud. So I'm gonna spray it so that way we can talk about what it smells like. Right off the bat, this is predominantly an oud fragrance, as you could imagine by the name, with it being called In the Mood, right? But you get some of that almost waxy, petally red rose coming through, which is so lovely. I love a rose fragrance, and this to me, I feel like oud is challenging for me. I feel like that's a note that I'm still coming around to. It's not a note that was necessarily popular in Western fragrances for a long time, and growing up over here, I wasn't exposed to it. I think a lot of people, you know, when you're exposed to certain scents at younger ages, then you have like a nice memory attached to it, right? But this is like a newer scent profile for me. So although I am coming around to it, what's nice about this is it's very smooth. It's very delicate, it's very soft, and it's nicely balanced with those florals. So let me see, what else do I get from this? I get a little bit of the cypress that gives it almost like a slightly menthol touch, but don't let that scare you. It's not a lot, it's just to freshen up the base a little bit so that way it doesn't become too heavy. And then I wore this on skin, and it had a really nice musky, ambery vanilla dry down. So this one would be fantastic for anybody really, because to me it's completely unisex. It doesn't lean feminine, it doesn't lean masculine, because it's not sweet, it's dry, and it's got that almost waxy rose to it. So I hope that gives you guys like a good description. But this I would recommend if you really want to try out oud fragrances, but you're like, I don't know, some of them are too heavy. This one, although it's an extrait de parfum, it is smooth, delicate, blended, and good for any occasion, good for any time of year. Next up, we have Red Carpet Affair, and this is their version of Angélique Noir by Guerlain. So, give a little spritz. Okay, so this one is significantly more sweet and juicy than the last one. Quite a bit more floral. So what we've got in this one, we've got angelica, pear, lavender, rose, white musk, vanilla, and jasmine sambac. So right off the top, I get that pear and I get the lavender. So you've got this sweet, juicy pear balanced with an herbal, slightly sharp, but not in a bad way, lavender. And I would say that the jasmine is significantly more prominent than the rose. The rose is in the background of this fragrance, so it's there, but you're really getting jasmine. And it's not an indolic jasmine. It doesn't smell pissy, because you guys know I'm like a freaking weirdo when it comes to white florals. I'm like, it smells like pee-pee. Smells like pee. So this one does not. Thank the heavens, it does not. This one is significantly more girly, in my opinion. This is delicate, it's sweet, it reminds me of springtime. It's juicy, floral, and it dries down to have quite a bit of sophistication. It's an interesting, complex, strong fragrance. Now this one, I got really good longevity, and actually I have to say, I've had great longevity with all of these. Every single one that I've tried from this house, longevity is insane. It's because they're more concentrated, there's more oil. And for anyone who maybe you're a little newer to fragrance, or maybe this was just never clarified, the strength is dependent on, you might see on a bottle EDT, which means eau de toilette, which is a low concentration, EDP, eau de parfum, which is a little bit higher, and then extrait de parfum, which is even higher. And then if it says cologne, that means it's kind of on the lowest end and it is gonna not be good for lasting. So just to clarify that for anybody who is wondering. So this is on the highest scale of perfume concentration. And as this dries down, it becomes significantly more floral. So those fruits start to kind of dissipate a little bit, and those florals start to really come through. And I'm starting to get a little bit more of the muskiness as it dries down as well. I'm surprised that there's not osmanthus flower in this one, because it kind of has that vibe a little bit, but that might just be the jasmine sambac mixing with the vanilla. Okay, so the next one, which is not a sample, it's this big bottle right here, is called Aphrodite's Rose, and it is their version of Atomic Rose by Initio, which that one I believe is $330 versus $70, so you know, you do the math on that one. And so let's get into the scent of this one, because this has to be, this might be my favorite. There's one other that's like in the running we'll talk about in a moment, but this is in my top two. Definitely in my top two. So in this, we've got Bulgarian rose, pink pepper, amberwood, cedar, vanilla, red rose, and almond. Super, almost a gourmand floral. There's something edible about this, but still sensual, still kind of dark and alluring, edible, feminine, but like femme fatale. And this one I have compared to the original. When I tell you this is such a great dupe. It is such a great dupe, because Initio is strong, crazy strong. That's like why you would even think to pay that much, is because it's strong. But if you can get it for $70 and it's just as strong and it's like very accurate, I'm just saying, you know me guys, I'm the dupe queen, that's it. I like saving money, because who has the time? And really, who's that rich? And if you're rich, you better be donating some of that. Just saying. Okay, so as I'm smelling this, I'm getting a little bit of that pink pepper, but not anything insane. Because I don't like peppery fragrances. So I get a little bit of that just gives it a little bit of a kick. And then, you know, I get that delicious red rose that is sweetened up with this beautiful vanilla and almond. It's got a nuttiness, it's got a creaminess, it's got a rosiness. I would say you would like this fragrance if you like sweet diamond pink pepper, if you like Roses Vanille by Mancera. If you like Intense Cafe by Montal, which are sister companies, those last two. So yeah, this is, it's a scent profile that, mind you, we are seeing a lot more of now. That almond, the rose, the vanilla, we're seeing that quite a bit now. But this is so well blended, it's so long lasting, and like I said, this is in my top 2. So let's talk about this one. I'd like to kind of get this one out of the way because, spoiler alert, there's something about it that I don't care for. So this is, and unfortunately I got the big bottle of this one because, you know, I was just kind of going off the notes online and I made a little bit of a mistake, so I'll explain. So this one is called Sex on Fire, and this is their version of Absolute Aphrodisiac by Initio as well. So this has a note in it called castoreum, and castoreum comes from the anal gland of a beaver. So I don't know if that's actually legal to use in fragrance anymore. There have been many animal rights acts that have been passed that certain things are no longer legal to use in fragrance. So it might be a synthesized version of that note, and it's meant to give an almost slightly animalistic scent to the fragrance. But this is, don't let this shock you, because this is actually something that they've done in fragrances for so long. I talked about this on an Instagram and TikTok post, what civet is. It's the sexual pheromones of the civet feline in Africa. And that was used very commonly in fragrances, and so was ambergris. You'll see that a lot, and I think they do still use ambergris because that can be harvested without killing the animal, because that is it's a waxy material that is regurgitated by sperm whales and floats to the surface and kind of ages in the sun and takes on a sweet woody fragrance. So yeah, people have been doing some weird things in fragrance for a very long time. So let me read you the notes on this one. So we've got Tahitian vanilla, white flowers, castoreum, musk, warm amber, Madagascan vanilla, and labdanum. So to me, it doesn't come across animalistic. It comes across like burnt plastic or burnt sugar, but there's something almost like a burnt plasticky quality to it. And I've actually heard a lot of fragrance reviews using that as a descriptor, and I've also heard of a lot of people enjoying that. So if you like Pink Sugar by Aquilina, I think that, to me, has a very distinctly like burnt smell to it, but people go crazy for that smell. And I'll say that one's a cheapie. That one's like 20 bucks at discount stores, and that lasts like crazy because it is kind of synthetic, and the synthetic ones tend to last really well. So if you were a fan of that when you were younger, but maybe it's like a little too young, because that Pink Sugar one can kind of have a little bit of like a cotton candy, like burnt cotton candy smell to it. If you're looking for something to graduate to the next level, something more interesting, Sex on Fire you might be interested in. I like the dry down, and I think I could be in the mood for this every now and again, but there's that one note that maybe on other people, they would smell it on me and be like, yeah, good. And that would add something interesting, but to me, it nauseates me a little bit, kind of gives me a headache. It's not for me, and I'm very disappointed that I'm the one that picked it out, and I got the full bottle of it. Like, they specifically asked me, which ones do you want to be samples? Which ones do you want to be full bottles? And I picked this because I didn't think. Well, I didn't think, that's all. Although, one side note that I'd like to make, I layered that with Kayali Invite Only Amber, and that had a little bit more sweetness and some warmth that kind of subdued that bizarre little plasticky note. So those in combination smelled super good together. Where was I going? Dentist's office or something? And I had that on, and I was just like testing it. So then I was like, you know what? This might be interesting. So I layered those two. Whew. So I can make it work. I just, on its own, I'm like, not right now. Next, I have Call Me By Your Name, and this is their version of Guerlain's Gourmand Cocaine. Not cocaine, but cocaine. Coquin. Coquin. Something. I'm sorry, guys. That I'll put the name down there so that way you can read it and someone who's smarter than me can tell me how you actually pronounce that. Cocaine, I think, but it, with my accent, sounds like I'm saying cocaine, and I'm not saying cocaine. So it's not Gourmand Cocaine. I can't even speak. Oh, it's in my mouth. I'm a fucking mess, guys. Someone give me a tranquilizer. Okay, so this one. This is the one that I wish that I would have asked for a full bottle of this one instead of the other one, because let me read you these notes. You'll understand why. So, chocolate, pink pepper, vanilla, amber, jasmine, labdanum, benzoin, brown sugar, and musk. I mean, just, that's a gourmand lover's dream, right? Like, you've got that sugary, chocolatey, caramelly brown sugar. That chocolate is really apparent on the opening. It's got a nice vanilla ambery base, so I bet that this one would also mix with the last one nicely, because maybe that like sweet chocolatey note would help to kind of like push that weird little plastic animalic note out of the way. I personally have not smelled the original of this, so I cannot tell you how close they are, but what I can tell you is this one would be incredible as a Christmas gift. Because you'd probably want to have this in colder weather. It might be a little bit strong and sweeten up a little bit too much in heat, where it's kind of like choking you out, which is funny because it's literally like still in my mouth right now. I'm like, yes, so I'll be very sad when this little thing goes, and I've already sprayed a healthy amount of it considering that I have a million freaking perfumes. And last but not least is called Bad Bitch, and it's their version of Armani Privé's Rouge Malachite. And I must have like touched the label a little bit too much because I rubbed the label off, so let me read from my phone the notes here. So we've got tuberose, vetiver, pink pepper, benzoin, jasmine sambac, orange blossom, coumarin, tuberose, amber, and ylang ylang. So off the top, again, they do put pepper in quite a few of these, but they're balanced, they're not annoying, they're not itchy, they're not sharp. So it's there, but it's just there to give a little bit of a bump to the white florals in this. And this is a white floral heavy fragrance. So you get that nice, not quite bubblegummy tuberose, but a sweet tuberose. And you get a nice bright jasmine and a nice apparent orange blossom. So you would have to really, really enjoy white flowers. But one thing I'll say, and I say this in every video, is I have a problem with white flowers sometimes smelling like pee on me. This one does not. This one is not an indolic jasmine. It is very smooth, very kind of a sweet floral. So yeah, this one is a really simple, if you like Kayali Deja Vu white flowers, that's kind of akin to this. It's very feminine. It is very spring, summer, or all year round, to be honest. It could be all year round because it's just a classic, beautiful floral. And I don't feel like it leans old-fashioned at all. I don't think that it smells vintage. I think that it's a modern floral that has a sophistication to it. So that's all I've got for today. I hope you guys enjoyed my review of Julianna'S Perfumes. Check them out, see if there's any, you know, really expensive fragrances that you've had your eye on, because it's a safe bet that their version is going to be fantastic. It's going to be good for lasting, and it's going to be like a fourth of the price, which is always enticing. Yeah, so I had fun I had fun making this video today. I hope you had fun watching. And if you did have fun watching, make sure that you are subscribed. Double check that. It helps my channel reach other people. And if you guys haven't already, I am on TikTok and on Instagram. And on TikTok, I am just under 10,000 subscribers right now. So please join me over there. I have a lot of fun, short, quippy little videos. So these are good for your drive into work to just put on as background noise. But if you need a little click through, that's where you can find me. And if you want to like chat more, Instagram is the place for sure. Because my DMs are always open and I am a talker. I respond. It's one of those things that people are like, hi, I know you don't know me, but... And I was like, hi, are we friends? I am a golden retriever person. Just who I am. So yes, again, I've enjoyed filming for you guys today, and I hope you enjoyed watching, and stay tuned for another video. Bye guys.